Hey, Clean Impact team, hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for being part of this movement to keep our community and our families and our customers safe and healthy. It really is a noble mission that we're on. And then and add to that the mission of being on our own personal mindset journey of attempting to be our best, of putting the deposits in and the work in that's required in order to have this repetitive consistency to be your best. So I just encourage everybody to continue to think about areas that they want to improve. Continue to think about the little details that you can do, those little deposits into your personal excellence that you can do on an hourly or a minutely basis of even just controlling your mind thought. Or when something triggers you, just think about something different. Do the breathing techniques that we talk about. All the little tools that we use to help us be a better person, just think about those things as we continue our journey down a path to personal excellence. Now, what I've been talking a lot about lately with the Night Heroes and some of our team is about getting back to the basics. The basics of what differentiate Clean Impact from the rest of the cleaning companies out there. The basic tools and principles that we have to understand that allow us to elevate the standards of work that we're able to provide is something as simple as getting back to the basics. Some of the things we want to talk about are ordering supplies, guys. There's nothing more unprofessional than waiting until you're out of supplies before you order those things. You have to understand that there is a system that we need to follow. If you need something, you open up the last box, order a new box. If you know within the next week you're going to be out of towels, order some new towels. And what we have to make sure we're doing is not just calling up a Night Hero or sending them a text message or on a personal phone call or something. No, that's what the app is for. Under the supply section of the app, put your supplies in that you need there. And what this allows to happen is it allows multiple people to be able to see that you need these supplies. So not just one person, you're relying on them to remember whenever they're on a phone call and you ask them, do you need some towels? Instead, we have a system for it. So put it in the app under the supply thing, not on the message board, not a text message, not a phone call, underneath the supply section. If you need some help with this, if you don't know how to do it or you're unsure, make sure you ask a Night Hero next time they're there. So what's happening is the Night Heroes are getting pulled away from these urgent and now emergencies. Hey, I need some mop heads right now, or hey, I need this right now, or hey, I need that. And it's pulling them away from the inspections and that little buffer that we have between us and our customer that allows us to serve at elite levels, and it allows us to be that buffer between the customer not wanting to come down and start barking problems or anything. The Night Heroes need the ability to go around and be able to perform their jobs at the levels that they need to, so they can continue to provide a service to you and provide a service to our customers and provide a service to our community. So these things all trickle down. So ordering supplies is really important. Make sure that you are doing it on the app only, not through phone calls. Next thing is you got to make sure that we're paying attention to our vacuums. Guys, here is the simple as this. You want your tools to perform at their level, the best level, so you don't have to work as hard. It's really that simple. If your vacuum bag is all clogged up or is all gunked up or so super full or got wet somehow, and you're going over something, you're trying to vacuum the floor and it's not picking up that piece of paper right away, that little chunk of debris or that little contrast on the carpet, if it's not picking it up with one pass, there's something wrong with your vacuum. Simplest thing to do, check the bag. Check the bag, and if the bag needs to be, if it's 3/4 full or more, make sure we're filling and changing that bag out. Now, we have remarkable team members that are actually labeling their bags and writing the date on it when they change it. Because that's remarkable. That's remarkable. It got me thinking, like, what else can we do with this labeling stuff? That's amazing. But it boils down to, if your vacuum's not picking up something when you go over it, check it, fix it, figure out why it's not doing it. It's only going to make your life and your job so much easier. It takes literally less than a minute to do that. If the hose is clogged, like tap it on the ground, see if anything falls out of it. If you need to, we can look through it. If that's still not working, then give the Night Hero a call so we can get out there and get that vacuum service so it's taking care of you. Now, salt is going to be happening real soon, guys. Salt absorbs moisture. Salt absorbs moisture. That's what it does. So when you suck up salt that has absorbed moisture, it's going to deposit that moisture into your bag. It's going to cause things to get clogged more frequently. So we have to be diligent about changing our vacuum bags right now, taking care of our equipment so the equipment takes care of you, makes your job easier, makes you look more professional, makes you happy, makes you sing, makes you dance, makes you do all that fun stuff because it's doing what it's supposed to do. So let's focus on those things. And guys, back to the basics, focusing on the details. Like whenever you're vacuuming in an office, look behind the door, close the door, and vacuum up behind the door. We're finding lots of cobwebs behind doors, and especially the ones in the hallways that stay open all the time. Guys, what better place for a client to go check on how professional we are than behind that door, right? And then when they look behind that door and there's nothing there, they're like, ooh, dang, I don't have to go looking for anything else. I know they're taking care of their business. That's what we want. We know that if a client goes looking, they're always going to find something, so we need to prevent those things. So make sure we're paying attention behind doors. And last but certainly not least, guys, back to the basics. Back to the basics. We need to make sure we're changing out our mop heads, right? We need to make sure we're taking the time to change out our mop heads so they're not all funky. They're not all dirty. They're not redistributing bacteria and funk all over people's floors and causing a haze. So what happens is whenever we get all of our towels and stuff, we're picking stuff up and we're getting that stuff laundered, we're not seeing very many mop heads in these things. And it makes us think, if they're not paying attention to this, we need to talk about this so we can make sure we're providing that superior quality service. Something as simple as a funky mop head is going to cause that to happen. I know a lot of you guys are hanging your mop heads up properly. You're wringing them out properly and rinsing them at the end of the night after you get done, and you're hoping to preserve that. But guys, it's not saving you time by not changing out that mop head. It really isn't. It's causing you frustration. It's causing subpar work, and it's causing bacteria to be swirled back around for somebody to transfer and potentially take home and get their family sick. That's not what we do, guys. That's not what we do. So in summary, real quick, order your supplies on the app under the supply section only. Don't send out text messages. Don't put it in the messaging section on that. Order them in the app. And if you need some help doing that, under the supply section, let the night here know next time you see them. Make sure we're changing out our vacuum bags. If we're not taking care of our equipment, it's not going to take care of us. The more we can change that thing out, the faster it's going to pick it up, and the more you can move about your business and be a professional. So pay attention to that. Behind hallway doors, behind doors, make sure we're getting the cobwebs off the ground. Make sure we're sucking that junk up, being the professionals that we are, and most importantly, changing out our mop heads more frequently so we can continue to provide that elevated service that keeps people healthy and clean. So that's what it's all about. Guys, I appreciate being part of this. Thank you so much. You're going to hear a lot about going back to the basics because that's what it's all about. It's about going back to the basics. But the most basic premise that we have is being our personal best. That's about as basic as it gets. And that's the trait that's going to help impact your family, impact you, impact your community the most, is when you focus on being your personal best. That's the most basic premise that we need to follow. And if you do that, the rest of this stuff falls into place. Guys, I'm honored to be part of your team. Let me know if you need anything. Have a wonderful night.